So there's this part in your bio on one of the websites where you have like a public account that says a person only needs three things. That is WD-40, a duct tape, and a hammer, right?
Right.
I really like that because it's very startup-y, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a thing. It's not something for corporations, definitely. But was that like a totally an offhand joke, or is it something like that you like implement in your work and life?
Well, that's interesting. I don't even remember when I.
Yeah,
left
we
it.
we did a deep search.
Right. Cool. Yeah. So you know the next thing about this.
No.
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 Oh, okay. So actually it's just an intro for the nice phrase. So person need only two things like duct tape and hammer. Duct tape. WD-40 and hammer. So you usually, if something moves and it shouldn't, you use duct tape. If something should not move but it shouldn't, you use WD-40. In any other case, just use the hammer.
Nice.
So, actually, this is a universal thing. Like you can fix everything with these things.
Yeah, that's a bit more extreme than I expected, but yeah, I mean, it's very simple.
Right.
Yeah. So you've been using your hammer a lot, and in this case, I mean your entrepreneurial hammer. So you're a serial entrepreneur. You've been founding and running companies like nonstop since 2017.
Right.
So I was curious. How did you discover that you have like an entrepreneurial, zest?
Yeah. So how it started? Actually, it's interesting that it combines. Like I started my entrepreneurship with the Web3 career. So before 2017, I just work. I started in 2010, maybe in the university. I started to work as a programmer. Then started as a tester, then a programmer, then a team lead, that's head of mobile development, then head of security, and so on. In the end, I realized that there is no task that I can solve, and I get bored at my work. So then I realized that I can just I want to do something else. I didn't even know do I want to do programming, IT stuff, or anything else. So I just quit. Enjoy 1 year of doing nothing. But actually, after half a year, I realized that I want to do my next startup. And I just started to do prototyping. It was just a normal fintech business that I came from fintech. And one of my friends invited me to New York. It was ICO era, and he said, "Hey, I need a technical guy who can understand how works the new blockchain system, like Solidity and so on." So I says, "Okay, I'm free. I have no obligations. Let's go." And that's how it started. So
was that BankX?
It was BankX, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. This was huge ICO. So, but I was a CEO of BankX Foundation. So it's a bit different. So BankX was a kind of business side. And I say that I just want to do something open source, public goods, all these things. So, and build the whole protocol, the technical things. So that's how I started. They try to hire me, and I say, no, I don't want to be hired. Let's do separate companies, and I will start to do my thing, and I will organize my team how I think it should be right. So that was very wise decision, because actually BankX, I don't like how they deal with all the business things. So they start to do 40 projects at once, and none of them actually.
ICOs in 2017 were really wild.
Right.
I mean, not a lot of stuff has actually worked.
Right.
But it was really a huge boom for the entire like Web3 ecosystem.
Industry, and people. I am very grateful for this ICO era because it allows me to bring the smartest people from the science, from the traditional Web2, from the security into the Web3. So I built the greatest team of the 20 people that I know personally from the university and previous companies that I used to work. And now at least like half of them are founders of their own businesses.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So this is interesting story, and now we just work with each other, and we used to work closely with Anton Bukov from 1inch. He was not my direct. We just start to work together in these things. So one of the co-founder of Tornado Cash is also one of my guy that we used to work together a lot. And other guys who work in cryptography, like there is a Zero Pool, one of the smartest guy who knows cryptography well. So Alex Vlasov, who continue to do Matter Labsa research things. So that's great to see like so many people. And other my employees now leading 1inch development things. So and other also works in Dubai. It's closed. It's not public project, but probably we will hear about it.
Awesome. I mean, I remember when the ICO craze was ongoing. Some of the projects I know of suddenly started sucking up a lot of talent here in Belgrade. And I remember some Web2 friends of mine who had companies whose employees got poached. Were very, very angry at Web3 and remain very angry. But at that point, because one of the projects which ICO'd was like throwing money at people, and they managed to create a pretty big team. I think they didn't really think a lot about what they were doing, so eventually it fell apart. But I definitely feel you when you say that it enabled you to create a star team.
Right.
And one thing that was really impressive when you look at the kind of stuff that you built was also that you co-founded Matter Labs, which is like one of the most hyped up organizations in Web3 these days. I mean, I'm not a crypto native, so I might be missing probably a few things, but that's how I understand that things are. So how did that came about?
Wow. That's a cool story. So I will give you some insights. Maybe like not too many people know about this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but now I think I can.
Enough time has passed.
Yeah. Enough time has passed, so we can talk about this more open.
Yeah.
So there was a time in 2017, and there was a lot of issues with the scaling. So
there's even now some scaling issues, but then especially.
But for now there is no any options like to do scaling at all.
Sure.
So Vitalik with other guys invent some white paper, like they say we can do plasma solution. Like OGs maybe remember that thing. It was something that was before optimistic rollups and ZK rollups. And there was so many teams that start to work on plasma. Actually, we was the first who make the first plasma prototype on ETH Waterloo, and even Vitalik that retweet us like plasma already happening and so on. Everyone was so happy that we can solve the scaling pretty soon. But after like around 1 year research, one of my cryptographer completely broke the plasma. He mathematically proved to Vitalik and Carol. We was in ETH Singapore, another hackathon, and he mathematically proved that plasma can't work at all. It's impossible to solve mass exit problem. So
that sounds really bad.
That sounds really bad,
Yeah.
and everyone was very bullish into the scaling and so on. So we silently stopped to work on Plasma. All the projects stopped to work, maybe except one team. I will not tell which one. It's another story, but they didn't make Plasma works but we openly we have a Plasma calls and we internally discuss, okay, let's close all the research about the Plasma and
that sounds like a lot of time and energy went into that.
Right. And there is no way, we have to find something else. So then we start to work on ZK Labs that later become a Matter Labs, and we make one of the first ZK Labs. And Karol and his optimism team make optimistic labs. So that's what we have now. Now we have a bunch of optimistic labs, ZK labs, and many options to work with.
What was it like to be like in the I don't know, the ground zero of creating scalability for Ethereum? I mean, today we kind of take it for granted that there's this whole sub industry dedicated to this, but in essence it was just I'm guessing a couple dozen persons starting up with that.
It happens once when after the CryptoKitties, it was one of the small startups that educate how the NFTs works, like when people start to use it a lot, the commissions rise from $3 up to $30 per transaction in Ethereum, and everyone realized, wow, Ethereum is not a case like you can't make something real big on this, so it's not enough capacity of the blockchain to store all the data, and it becomes quite obvious that we have to scale Ethereum. Yes, so when we broke the Plasma, we start to work on ZK Labs. And I realized this is a thing. This is only one thing that now we can do to save the blockchain ecosystem. Like we have to do scaling thing. That's how we start to make it. Like there was no questions. Like, I start to invest my own money. It was a crypto winter, so we don't have any investments.
Yeah.
We start to invest our own money for our small team. Later, Ethereum Foundation helps us with the grant, and in the end, we found a seed round in the summer, and that's how it started.
Yeah. So at some point, you understood that Matter Labs is not something that you want to pursue your entire career, and you exited the company. I'm curious, what kind of insight did you get that made you want to switch places? Because looking as someone from the side, it seems like Matter Labs is poised to do a lot of cool stuff, but I'm guessing that you were attracted to something else.
Yeah, so there is several reasons, of course, and one of them is that I really like to be open, work with different kind of projects. So that's why I founded Auxorio, and we can work with all the top projects in the industry.
The entire industry, yeah.
Entire industry, right. And if there was a ZK Labs race and everyone starts to compete with each other to make the best solution, you have to be very closed. You shouldn't share anything because there a lot of competition. And actually, it's not kind of my style. I like to share it, and if you have to just close it and work for proprietary thing, at least for several years, that's not something that I enjoy.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah, this is one thing. Another thing is still it was like a different kind of strategy that we choose to work, me and another co-founder. So we decide okay, I know what I want to do. They want to do this way. And investors also, they have their own opinion, and they don't want to just freeze the equity if one of the co-founder is not involved in the project. So they want to just buy their equity.
Yeah.
And this was the tough part, because they have a lot of leverage and power, because they invest into the projects, and you need to negotiate with them about your equity and price. So this is a very hard thing, and new entrepreneurs have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have asked you anything about it, but I really appreciate you choosing to share. And the reason I'm saying this is that in public we all tell stories that are rosy and optimistic and nice, because you don't want to be fudding. You don't want to be, but startups are hard. People are hard, and there's a lot of conflicting interests, especially in a situation like the one you just said. And I'm really happy that our audience will be able to hear this part of the story. I was in a position where I was essentially fired by the board of a company I co-founded, where I had equity. And that was really, really hard. In a way, I'm not going to say that I was threatened that I would be left with zero equity, even though I was rightfully owning some and not insignificant, piece of equity in a company. But let's say in those kinds of situations, negotiations are really, really hard.
That's true. And I think this is something that I think almost every entrepreneur has to pass through. I don't even know one entrepreneur who didn't burned with this kind of issues with the equities. When we do it first time, it's always something goes wrong. Yeah, this is a very stressful thing.
I can also understand an investor who wants to, secure their investment by not having any ghost equity. But it's tough. I'm wondering what kind of thinking and what kind of state of mind helps you go through that process, and to make sure to get as much of your interests protected, because that can be extremely stressful.
Right. So at the beginning, I just read a lot of the papers and check about the conditions.
Did you get a lawyer?
Yes. And he helped me also to do it right. Yeah, this is an important thing. It is better to check it with your personal lawyer who will protect your own rights, especially if your some terms and conditions vary from others. Yeah, this is really important. Yeah. Another thing is just mindsets. Maybe I'm just easygoing person, and I for the last 15 years I realized that I know how to work. I know how to build the businesses, and I realized this is not the end, and I can just start the new thing and make it how I want it to and I'm pretty enjoy that. I didn't start to argue and fight or something, because now it gives me much more benefits to work with so many good projects and don't spend time for just confrontation and anything like this.
Did you maintain good relations with your previous co-founder and investors?
Yes, well, we are not in touch too much, because there are not too many things that we can discuss for now, since I'm not involved. Yeah. But yes, sometimes I helps them, because some people come to me with the questions about ZK Sync and Matter Labs, then I direct them directly
So
to...
there's no bad blood or something?
Yeah, in general, no bad blood. Yeah, there was some when we work together and we have different strategy.
Yeah, of course.
So later,
and it's emotional. It's gotta be
right.
You know, it's your baby in a way.
Right. Yeah. So for now, everything is like just business. You know, like
okay.
Nothing personal, just business. So
yeah, I'm really sorry to put you on the spot like this, but it's very rare to have a guest that is open with getting into those sort of topics, and I really find it important for my audience to be able to have a sense, you know. So I'm sorry for being a bit, you know, like tabloid. It wasn't my intention. Education is the only thing I care about.
That's cool. I am happy to share this, and
awesome, bro.
I appreciate your cariness about the feelings, because actually, if you ask me about this maybe like 3 years ago, I was not like calm right now, because it was quite stressful at that moment. Yeah. For now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a bit sour about my thing, even though 10 years have passed. But you know, that's life, and that's business. You know, it's fine.
Exactly, and if you will see the stories of other successful people like Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, like Apple, and Elon Musk also lost many times their businesses. So that's a normal for entrepreneurs. So
awesome. Really happy that we could we could you know, use some time on that. So on to Oxorio. So one thing that I didn't get is whether you guys are an agency or a product, or both, or something else entirely. Can you tell us what Oxorio is and does?
Well, that's a good question. So since it's my own company, I can do whatever I want. So actually, we are both. Like, we are like doing R&D stuff. We can do it for our own purposes, or do some grants research and do these things. So we provide the services like security as a service, let's say, and help to protect the complex projects. Mostly we work with like something really new. We don't just do audits for ERC20 or 71 tokens.
Okay.
We just go and try to work with something really special that nobody know how to work, and we have enough capacity of our brains like to just go deep and research every single thing in very complex projects. Yeah, so
sounds fun.
This is fun, and still there is a lot of we are still like, there is no product as itself. And I realized that now I have one of the greatest technical guys in my team, and if we decide that that's the new thing, like at that time of scaling, that we know how to do and we want to do this, we can just simply shift and start to implement these things. So as for now, it's just for it's fun. It's for fun. So we do something special and good, and we learn a lot from the best in this industry. So yeah, that's how it works for now.
So you, in a way, by the way, I already mentioned that I'm not a Web3 guy, crypto native. I'm almost a normie. So if I understood correctly, you guys do security for Web3.
Right.
So if I made a new protocol, or I issued a token, I essentially go to you guys and I like ask you to pen test it or something like that.
All right. So
although I guess a bit more advanced.
Yeah. First, we just started like from security audits, and but this is a very narrow time frame when projects need security audits. It's just in the end when they freeze the code and just before release. So now we start to offer other services. So because sometimes they're just not ready and they come for our audit, and in the end they realize that they have to rewrite the whole code from the beginning when we found a lot of criticals. So now we also start to support them on early stage, like code review, and do some consultations about like architecture. Then we also offer like pre-audit. So it's something that's like several times cheaper than audit, but also gives you much more understanding if it's ready for audit. So are you ready to spend a bunch of money and our time, like to just sit down and dig into the code and pick every byte and check how it works. So now we just provide the services for like on different stages for the projects, and yeah, that's how it works. And besides that, there's some risk assessment. If some VCs want to know which token or project is worth to invest and something like, so we do some private risk assessments for the VCs.
Yeah, I saw that you guys were really active and successful with hackathons. So, but one thing I was confused about is, you don't oftentimes see like agencies go to hackathons. Did you go there with like a prototype or a product, or what did you do there?
Yeah, that's also a good thing that you also check.
Yeah, we are very thorough in our.
Nice.
Just kidding. I mean, we just wanted to prepare as best we can.
Perfect. Yeah, I like your questions. You're very picking in details. Yeah, so maybe it started from my like career. So since 2017, I started to participate in hackathons a lot.
Yeah, hackathons are great.
Right. Yeah. So I did it like maybe I won more than 12 out of 15. So almost in every hackathon I won. But in the end, when we was in ETH Singapore, the guys say, hey, we know you're smart, you're doing well, but just let the younger people
leave something for others.
Leave something for them, right?
Yeah.
So they directly said me like, let's just go to like do something special, and they're totally right. So, but for me, it's just nice thing to network, place to networking and do.
Yeah, it is.
Even after, so I start to participate in hackathons, but like I just more like a mentor or help the teams to invent something special and polish their projects. And sometimes with our current team of auditors, for us it's like a hobby, like just go for fun, just to not do audits. We go and invent something new. It's just a way to relax and switch our mind to something different.
Relax by working 24 hours non-stop, competing with other people. Okay.
48.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes more.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome, man. Really awesome.
Yes. No pain, no gain.
I'm not sure whether I participated in a hackathon, but like I organized like dozens of them, and we made a bunch of them here in this space. And even you probably know of Tenderly, the company. Space. They started working on their product. I mean, it wasn't at that point. It wasn't the product that it is today on one of our hackathons. So it's pretty awesome. And I'm curious, what is it that you like about running what more or less essentially is an agency, as opposed to a product? I mean, with a product, as you can scale like the business more easily than like keeping up what is essentially a lab that you're doing now. I'm not saying that either is better than the other. I mean, we are probably something close to an agency, but I'm curious what your thinking is there.
So yeah, it's very hard to answer, like, because I didn't decide like who we are in this way. So my point when we work in our company, like everyone have to just do what they want, what they like. And I am as a founder, I find how they use their skills, like special abilities, to make the most of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it works. So now we're more like a service company, but yeah, probably we will change. We're like small startup. We're boutique company. So this is our advantages. So we can change our direction quite fast. So recently we just realized, wow, ZK is the next big thing. Let's learn ZK. So we just bring the most smartest people from the ZK and cryptography and develop our skills how to do the ZK audits. And now we can just also like break most of the ZK new ZK contracts. They are very vulnerable in general because it's much harder to write the secure code on like Circum and like this kind of low-level stuff. So we're just playing with this.
I think I get it. You're just having fun.
We're just having fun.
Which should be the default, but sometimes in business, if you want to achieve a particular goal, sometimes you gotta walk over broken glass for a bit.
Right.
Well,
yes. So yeah, there is a dark side. So I don't want to pretend like it's just having fun.
Yeah.
To be entrepreneur, like it's so stressful because still my auditors, like they just get their salary, and I'm responsible to just get enough money so we can pay salary for the crypto winter. Yeah. Sometimes like there is no active development stage for our clients, so we have to like do something else.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of stress in my mind, like to think how to make it like work.
Yeah.
But so there is more than 3 years that we are like already steady as a company, and we always have something to do. But it's always the question, like, what we're gonna do next? And it's quite stressful.
How did you get your clients?
Well, this is a common thing for most of the audit companies that I ask in, like small companies like ours. It's only like connections. There is no marketing, nothing. It doesn't work. So only the personal connections that you established in hackathons and with our previous work. So that's how it works. People like to trust like to someone that they know in person.
Is there like any next step or next stage or like a goal that you would like to reach, or is it like just going on with the flow that you're already in and seeing where that leads?
Well, sure. I make the next goal. I want to make us as recognizable as Tier 1 auditors, because for now we do audits as Tier 1 even better. There's a lot of like consensus, and OpenZeppelin always try to hire my auditors. It's quite painful because they raise like 2 or 3 times higher than ours.
Wow.
But the quality is on the same level or sometimes even less because they have huge teams, and sometimes some of them are pretty good, some of them not.
Okay.
And we try to like get like best quality and don't compromise the quality at all. And we can't allow ourselves like to make all these like quality drops. And for make it like stable, I want to become like Tier 1 auditors, but it's quite hard because we're young and small company, and we have very huge like competitors. Like,
but you're more agile, so.
Right. Yeah. So this is our advantages, and it's always like something that need to be considered.
So if you look back at your entrepreneurial career, I think we managed to provide enough stories and experiences that our audience can draw their conclusions from and learn something. Would you care to try and like pick one lesson that you now know that you would like to have known when you were starting out that you didn't know then? If there is one.
Yes. Okay, there will be like 2. One help.
Okay.
So one is, as I said before, like just be brave. Like protects your rights with a lawyer is a good thing for every entrepreneur. That's what I already mentioned. And another thing, as entrepreneur, you always have to check some cutting edge technologies that you can implement into your industry. So it's always something happening between two industries that just recently developed. You can always find something special there, then you can implement. For example, now like everyone working on AI, and there are so many aspects that you can implement with AI. So this is a good example, but there are always like this, so you can check it out. So in my experience, it was like Ethereum, like new blockchain that happens just recently, and ZK technology that allows to scale it a lot. So both of these technologies was like quite well known for decades, but maybe not decades. Okay, blockchain is quite recent, but still. And when you can combine them, you realize that you found a secret sauce for your startup.